When I came to Auroville, that is about more than 50 years ago, my first job was in the TDC. I came to Auroville to help building the city. So my natural step was to go to the TDC. That was l'Avenue d'Auroville at that moment. It was just a reconstruction, restructuring of the TDC, and that was to l'Avenue d'Auroville. And I remembered that I had talks and yes, this is what I really want. And this is the third team where I'm now. So in total 8-9 years I've been there in the TDC. I love that office because there somehow you work for the future of Auroville. And you don't work only for the present Aurovillians, you also work for future Aurovillians. And in the end you also work for Mother to see how the thing is going. So in that sense it is a place where I really like to be. What I also like is what is happening at the moment. And of course you hear about clashes and of course you hear about, but it is a necessary phase where we have to go through. I mean, you cannot do it without it. And you need sandpapering, otherwise things get not shiny. I mean, we need to go through this phase. And we also don't know exactly in 5 or 6 years how it will land, how the collaboration will restart again and all that kind of thing. I mean, you see already signs in it, and that will come back. That will come back, I'm sure. You can do it only together. I'm happy to share a few points where at the moment we are working on. But it has a bit of a history, and I like to say something about the history first. It is not so well known, but about a year ago, actually more than a year ago, the TDC had a new crew of people. 2 were already working there and 3 new people came in. And actually with those 5 people we started a whole process of what are we going to deliver. That was before the secretary came, that was before all the things what are happening now took place. And actually what we decided was to put the city frontal back on the agenda. Not only city but also green and life and all that kind of things. And we conducted a workshop with each other that took a few days, and in the end we produced a document where we said, now this is what we would like. Then we started organizing this, and we were out of money. We needed more people, so that did not really take off. At that moment, new secretary came in, and she had her own style and her own way of looking at the city, what resonated where we were busy with. So that was quickly a match. And the energy and all the possibilities what she gave also to the TDC, not only to the TDC but also to the C, meant that we were actually ready to take off, and that there was a need to take off, and that came beautifully together. So gradually we developed a working plan, and that working plan is first of all that we need an organization who can handle all kinds of projects. And at this very moment we are in the middle of quite a big transition in the ATDC, of having new people on board, making functions more precise, more responsible, more accountable, more professionalism because we need these kind of things if we want to go on with the development of the city. If I look at the projects where we work on the moment, we have quite a budget in front of us, what will be spent on electricity, what will be spent on water supply, that will be spent on optical fibers, that will be spent on all kind of equipment needed in the different units in Auroville. We have defined a few projects which are very close to the needs of Auroville. We want to fully develop Sector 1 and 2 for housing. That means that we have for 700-800 people new houses in, let's say, a year and a half. But we have to do it. I mean, we are opening the sites for applications, so that we have to put, of course, the infrastructure in the ground. So these projects are taking off right now. On top of this, we have a few roads to make. You cannot develop something without having roads and without having infrastructure. So a whole part of the ring road, Mangalam Radial, part of the Verite Radial, access Windarra, these are all roads which are at the moment on our agenda. And the surveying will start in one of these days, that we know exactly from where those roads have to come. Also a part of the Crown, but that is under court at the moment. If you look at this very moment in front of Arca and what kind of traffic is there, then I would also come to an idea like this. I mean, it was just an existing mud road what was paved, and we left all the traffic which was there. I mean, it was as simple as this. But this is not the original idea of the Crown, and this will not be the end situation of the Crown. The Crown is meant for pedestrians and for cyclists and public traffic. And we have to move to that traffic profile. It should be a connecting road. It should be a plaza. It should where people meet each other. You go from one side of Auroville to the other side of Auroville in a relaxed way. So of course some public transport, but don't think that there will be immediately a train running around. I mean that will be an electric bus or something, but it is mainly pedestrian, mainly cyclists who will take possession of that road. But there's a but. And that has come in many discussions, that before that traffic profile is fully developed, we have to do all kinds of devices that nothing else can come in, so gates and barriers, but also developing of other roads where that traffic can go. It is not for nothing that in present situation the Crown is used by the traffic. Now that has to go somewhere else. So those roads have also to develop. And what I just said about Windarra as access, the development of the Mangalam Radial, I mean there you see that we are trying to get that traffic out, or in any case far away from the Crown Road. We are processing, or started to process, quite a few very big projects. Line of Goodwill, line of Progress. We want to see the Svaram, the musical center, to be realized. There are quite a big projects will change the face of Auroville. To develop Auroville, you need, from a planning point of view, a DDP, what we call. That is a detailed developing plan, that you have a good idea where is what, where comes what. And we have a residential zone, we have an international zone, there are different zones, and there's an inner city. So we have to define where what comes. There are done quite a lot of studies in the past, but it is insufficient for a full DDP. So the TDC, including the foundation, has asked Vastu, and that is on the background. There's Doshi to help us developing that DDP, and that has come to a contract. In the meantime, a group has started also to work on this, and that is what we call the Dreamweavers. They have come together, they have done their research, and they will also produce ideas, and it is mainly around the Crown, but not only the Crown. In all kind of proposals, what will come on the table. This point came also in the governing board meeting. It is the TDC who is the client of these kind of processes. That's clear, and it is the TDC in the end who defines the briefing and checks the results. I mean, you see and you talk, and does it fit? Does it not fit? And this is the way how it should be. Anupama has been very active in the past working with Roger. She has made quite a lot of proposals also for city planning. So she is very well equipped and knowledgeable what is on an urban level the idea of Auroville. So we have asked her to work in the TDC to guide us in that whole process. And she has said yes. So we made a contract with her, and at the moment she is head of the urban design. So she has made briefings where people will look at and follow those guidelines, and she will judge or look at or talk with the people who have their proposals. That is her role. We have a new secretary member on board in the TDC, Mr. Seetharaman. He has been shortly, a very short period, even the secretary of the Auroville Foundation. He is specially for finances, because we see that the budgets will increase quite a lot on the TDC side and for city development, so that need quite precise procedures and a way of accountability and auditing. and he is specialized in this, so that is really a big help. It is always good to have somebody extra on board with fresh insights and coming from with that background. So yes, it's a very qualified man who is helping us in getting especially the financial part, but not only the financial part, completely straight on our table. And so far we have worked together in the last month, a couple of months, and that works really fine. So it is really a challenging time at the moment. How the restructured TDC, how with new budgets, how we have to accelerate the acceleration, how we have to do this. And I mean, it is a bit daring to work every day 12 hours, but it is really fantastic to do it. I love it.